Hello, beautiful people. My name is Kira, aka Words by Kira, and in this video, I am going to be talking about the ways I stopped overly censoring myself. A lot of times we censor ourselves because we have anxiety, or we're afraid to say the wrong thing, or afraid people will be mad at us. And I really want to discuss ways that you can just really be your authentic self, say what you want to say, and live in the present. If you like content about self-love and connecting with others through interviews, then you definitely want to hit that bottom right subscribe button. You. Hit that bottom right subscribe button and join the family because I would love to have you. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, y'all, I'm really excited about this video topic because it's something that's actually been literally impacting my life and I wasn't really aware of it. Okay, so censoring yourself, this whole idea of how you're overly censoring yourself. I know for me, people that maybe you get anxious or you get nervous, you're afraid you're gonna say the wrong thing, or you're afraid you're gonna offend someone. So sometimes you literally have something that you want to say or you want to do that is the most natural and truest thing for you to do, but you stop yourself. You're like, no, maybe I shouldn't say that because I don't want to offend them, or no, maybe I shouldn't do that because then I might make a mistake, or whatever the case is. It's like you are so nervous about what you say or what you do might make you lose or might make you be in a negative situation that you don't even allow yourself to just freely do what you want to do. Now, of course, we know that there are some situations where it might not be the smartest thing to say something, like, especially if you know, like, okay, this is something kind of shady that I want to say, and the other person isn't even going to be beneficial. You have to kind of do those situations with your own judgment. But I'm talking about a time where you literally have something that you think could solve a problem, or you have a really important thing to raise in a meeting or with your colleagues or whoever you work with, and you just say, oh, but what if that sounds dumb? Maybe I shouldn't say it. Something like that. Or you're having an issue with someone in your life and it's really bothering you, and you want to say something about it. You want to confront them, but you're so nervous, so you just keep swallowing the words. That's overly censoring yourself, and it could really lead to detrimental things in the future. So it's best to just be you, do you, and let it out. This, in my opinion, is overly censoring yourself. And just recently, I started to notice that I do it. I mean, I always kind of knew I did it. My friends would tell me, and even my boyfriend recently, we had a conversation and I realized that I was doing it to the point that I actually was doing it to others too. Like, oh, maybe you shouldn't do that if you go there. Maybe you shouldn't say that. And it sounds terrible. It really sounds horrible. I was not trying to do this on purpose. I was not trying to make anybody feel uncomfortable. It was just my anxiety, and I was just not wanting a negative situation for myself or for others, to the point that I was now letting my bad habits of censoring myself cause me to kind of influence people to censor themselves. And that's just not cool. That's not the type of person I want to be. And that's not the type of energy that I want to give out to the world. So that's why I thought it was really important to be totally upfront with you guys about it, how overly censoring myself has been something that I'm really trying to work on. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about some ways that I've been working on this myself. It's definitely a work in progress, but a way that I've been kind of trying to cut back on it is throughout the day, I have this little journal, and anytime I feel in my head like I was gonna say or do something and I stopped myself, I actually become aware of it. I'm like, wait, girl, you wanted to send this email out, but you stopped and you like reworded it mad times. It wasn't even that serious. And you were so nervous that you were gonna come off stank, or like you had an attitude. And it's like, girl, you needed some information to get the job done. It's not even that deep. It's really not that deep. So I wrote it down like, wow, I was censoring myself today when I wanted to ask a question in the email because I was afraid how it would come off. Like, so I just write it down to just kind of show myself how often I'm doing this. And it actually helped me to censor myself less because I was aware of it. Another great tip is to be mindful. I know we hear this all the time. Be mindful, be in the present. But it really is a great way to be, because I think a lot of times when we're anxious or nervous, we're thinking about the past, something that happened back in the day, and we're so afraid it's going to happen again. Or you could be afraid of the future. You're like, oh my gosh, what if this happens in the future? What if that happens? So you try to censor yourself because you're so worried about what could happen in the future. So yeah, if you stay in the moment, if you stay in the present moment, like, wow, I'm sitting here. What do I see? What do I hear? What do I feel? What do I touch? What am I doing right now? I think it can kind of ground you. And oh, shout out to Nzinga, because she recently put out an Instagram post talking about like how she's been dealing with social anxiety now after the pandemic, being in social settings again, and how it's very different for her and for all of us, I'm sure. So a really great grounding sentence that she used, I think it was something like, she chooses to not, I forget exactly the words, but you can totally make your own grounding sentence that works for you. It could be like, I release all the pressure to be perfect in this moment. I release all the pressure to be perfect. I just want to be me. Something like that. Ooh, I like that for real. I think I'm gonna actually use that in my life, because a lot of times it's like, I know obviously nobody's perfect. We're all human, and that's what makes us beautiful, to be special and unique. But sometimes I think I put a lot of pressure on myself to behave a certain way or be a certain type of person. And it's like, girl, you are a good person. Whoever's watching this, you're a great person, I'm sure. You're worthy, you're deserving. You don't have to act and be this certain way and have these certain reactions and have this positive energy all the time and be this type of person who could do everything for everyone else. Like, it's too much. You don't have to do all of that. You can just literally be who you are, and that is amazing and special enough, you know? So yeah, so be in the present moment. Another really great exercise that I've been doing with my therapist, love her. She has me journal a lot because I love journaling. You guys who are familiar with my channel, you know I'm always wanting to journal, always wanting to just get my thoughts and feelings down on paper, because it's a really great releasing opportunity for me. So sometimes if you have all this anxiety or you're nervous about things, sometimes it's really great to just let it down, like write it down and let it go. And it could just be a stream of consciousness. You could just take out a piece of paper or write in your phone or on your laptop, like just all of your thoughts and all of your feelings. You can ask yourself certain questions like, what am I afraid of? What am I afraid will happen if I say these certain things, or if I do these certain things? Like, what am I so afraid of? And a lot of times it could come down to like, you're afraid of abandonment, you're afraid of rejection, or there's a lot of different fears that pretty much all of us humans have. And it could be really great for you to know what your particular fear is, because a lot of times that's what's driving us to behave these ways. That's what's stopping us from saying to our friend or our partner, like, hey, you know, I really don't want to talk about that right now. I don't feel comfortable talking about that. Or, you know, whenever you do that thing, it really hurts my feelings and I really feel sad or upset. I'd appreciate if you stopped doing that. Things like that, you know, just having those tough conversations that are needed, that are 100% needed to have a healthy, honest, respectful bond with someone. So yeah, I just really thought this was an important topic because, I don't know, it's so interesting because I feel like nowadays, a lot of people who didn't have a voice in the past, they have voices now. You know, those marginalized groups, those groups that felt overlooked, that felt bullied or ostracized or oppressed. And a lot now, thanks to social media and evolution, a lot of those people have more of an opportunity to speak up for themselves, especially using social media. But I think sometimes on the other, and that's wonderful and that's beautiful, but I think sometimes on the other side of that now, it can make people afraid to speak, afraid to say things because they don't want to offend others. So I think that if we all come together, we be our truest selves, we be our best selves, whatever that is, because it's different for everyone, there has to be some sort of balance that we can find where we're being, true to ourselves, we're being who we are, we're able to express ourselves, we're able to do the things that we want to do within reason. But then we also are being respectful of others and not wanting to be cruel and hurtful and offensive. So that's a really big order. That's something that's definitely going to take a lot of higher thinking, a lot of healing, a lot of communication, and being open to hear different perspectives, being open to hear different sides. My boyfriend always talks about that all the time, about the power of being able to listen to people who don't think exactly like you without just jumping down their throat and feeling like they're horrible and they're terrible. So that's something I think would be really, really great for the world to do. I'm not sitting here acting like I don't do things like that. If I feel very, very passionate about a cause or about a value that I have, I'm not gonna lie, my first instinct is to be like, you don't think like me about this? Oh, what's up with you? Why don't you think like that? And I think a lot of us are like that. But it's important, if you really want to see real change, to kind of open your mind and not be so judgmental. And of course, most importantly, don't be so judgmental on you. Don't judge yourself so harsh. Give yourself some credit. Like, you've been through so much. You have lived and learned and grown and blossomed. And I bet you, if you look at where you are today versus how you started off in life, your childhood or a few years ago, I'm sure you have made some incredible strides. I'm sure you have overcome some really challenging moments. And for that, you should really appreciate yourself. Give yourself a hug, give yourself a pat on the back, because that's what life is about: elevating, growing, and ultimately just being who we are, being ourselves and loving it. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love talking about things like this. Let me know in the comments below ways that maybe you stop censoring yourself, or any other topics that you would like me to cover on my channel. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.